The Night Ward, West Surrey, England, November 18th, 2006, 11:47 p.m. You know, I've told this story maybe twice in my life, and every time I start, I feel that same cold crawling up my neck, the one I felt that night in 2006. Back then, I was 17. My best mate Alex was 18. Bright, funny, always getting into stupid trouble. We grew up in Guildford, down in West Surrey, not far from an old hospital that everyone around town whispered about. St. Bartholomew's Hospital. It wasn't a working hospital anymore. It had closed down in 1999. Budget cuts, they said. But people talked about why it really shut its doors. Patients disappearing, a nurse who hung herself, rooms that stank of chemicals years after the last surgery. You know, all the usual local ghost stories. In November of 2006, I was working nights stacking shelves at Tesco. Alex had just started photography at college. He'd gotten this idea, said he wanted to photograph abandoned places for his portfolio. Places with memory, he called them. And of course, he wanted me to come along. We met outside St. Bartholomew's around midnight. The building sat at the edge of a field, half swallowed by fog, windows boarded, roof sagging like it was breathing. There were still a few dim security lights flickering behind broken glass. Alex had his camera slung over his shoulder and a stupid grin on his face. "Imagine what's still inside," he said. "Old files, stretchers, surgical lights. It's history, mate." I remember laughing, but I didn't feel right. The air smelled wrong, like metal and rot, the kind of smell that sticks to your tongue. We got in through a side door someone had already forced open. Inside, the air was heavy and stale. Every sound echoed, our footsteps, the click of Alex's camera shutter, even our breathing. The entrance hall was lined with peeling paint and faded signs. Pediatrics, maternity, Ward 3B. And at the very end of the corridor, a door marked Night Ward. That's where everything went wrong. We walked deeper inside, the torchlight jumping across the walls. There were old gurneys overturned in the hall, a rusted wheelchair, papers scattered everywhere. "Look at this," Alex whispered. He'd found a patient file half buried under dust, the name smudged but still legible, Alexander Morton. We both froze. That was his full name. I laughed it off, told him it was coincidence, but he went quiet, staring at it like he couldn't breathe. Then we heard it, a sound, faint, rhythmic, like the creak of a door opening and closing somewhere down the corridor. Slow, steady, and wrong. We turned off our torches and listened. The noise didn't stop. It came from the Night Ward door. Alex whispered, "Someone's here." I whispered back, "It's an old building, wind, maybe." But the door opened, just a little. He wanted to take a photo. Of course he did. The flash went off, lighting the corridor for half a second. And in that half second, I swear I saw something. Not clearly, just the shape of someone standing in the doorway, head tilted, wearing what looked like an old hospital gown. When the light faded, the corridor was empty again. Alex lowered his camera, pale. "Did you see that?" I said nothing. He started toward the door. I grabbed his arm, but he shook me off and pushed it open. The smell hit us first, sharp, chemical, like disinfectant that had turned sour. Then the temperature dropped. The Night Ward wasn't like the rest of the hospital. The walls were clean, too clean, like someone had scrubbed them recently. The beds were still made, and there were fresh footprints in the dust leading toward the far end of the room. "Someone's been here," Alex said. We followed the prints. At the far end was a curtain pulled halfway closed around one bed. A faint light glowed from behind it, not torchlight, more like that sterile, buzzing light you get from hospital monitors. Alex whispered, "There's power. I should have left." I should have pulled him out and gone straight home. But I didn't. He stepped forward, pulled the curtain open, and for a moment, I couldn't move. There was a figure lying on the bed, tubes in the arms, oxygen mask over the face. The skin was pale and cracked. The chest rose and fell, shallow, mechanical. And the face, it was Alex. Same jawline, same scar above the eyebrow, same necklace, the one he was wearing right then. I turned to him. He was frozen, staring at himself. The other Alex on the bed opened his eyes, and he whispered, "You're late." I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. Just the sound of my own shoes slapping the linoleum. That same creaking noise behind me, echoing louder and faster. When I burst outside, the air hit me like a slap. I looked back. No sign of Alex, just darkness behind the broken door. I called his name again and again. No answer. I don't remember how long I waited. I only remember the lights inside flickering and then going completely out. The police searched the building the next morning. No sign of him. No sign of any bed or body or lights. They said it was abandoned, no power connected for years. They found his camera though, half buried in the dust outside the night ward. Only one photo came out clear. It showed that hospital bed, empty. But if you zoomed in on the metal rail, you could just make out a reflection, a shape standing behind the camera, with a mask over its face. And that was it. Alex was gone. No trace. No records. They shut the whole place down after that. Fenced it off, bulldozed most of it by 2008. But people who live near the site say they still see a light some nights. A faint, flickering glow, deep under the ground where the night ward used to be. And sometimes they hear a shutter click, just once. Like someone taking a photo in the dark. You know what's strange? Last month, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single photograph, a hospital bed, and a figure sitting up, smiling, wearing my jacket. End of story. The Night Ward.